Imagine diving into crystal clear water, so beautiful that it looks harmless, only to discover that beneath the surface lies one of the deadliest underwater caves in America. Deep in the Texas Hill Country, near the small town of Wimberley, there is a natural spring known as Jacob's Well. At first glance, it appears peaceful, almost magical. Cold, transparent water rises endlessly from the earth, surrounded by limestone cliffs and green trees. On hot summer days, locals gather there to swim, jump into the water, and escape the Texas heat. But beneath that calm surface is a hidden labyrinth that has claimed multiple lives. Jacob's Well is not just a swimming hole. It is one of the most dangerous underwater cave systems in the United States. The opening itself is deceptively small, roughly 4 meters across, but it descends more than 100 feet into a complex network of submerged chambers and narrow tunnels. The spring is part of the Trinity Aquifer system, one of the major underground water sources in Texas, and for thousands of years, water has flowed continuously from deep within the earth. Long before modern divers explored it, indigenous peoples in the region considered the spring sacred. The water was unusually clear, cold even during extreme heat, and seemed to emerge endlessly from darkness below. Early settlers later named it Jacob's Well, inspired by the biblical well known for providing life-giving water. For generations, the spring became a local landmark. Children jumped from the rocks into the deep blue opening, families picnicked nearby, travelers stopped to admire its beauty. Photographs of people leaping directly into the circular hole became iconic images of Texas summer culture. Yet hidden below was something far more dangerous than most people realized. The cave system beneath Jacob's Well contains multiple underwater chambers connected by extremely narrow passages. Some sections become so tight that divers must remove oxygen tanks to squeeze through. Visibility can disappear instantly if sediment is disturbed. A single wrong movement can turn clear water into complete darkness. And once panic begins underwater, survival becomes terrifyingly difficult. The first known diving fatality at Jacob's Well occurred in the 1970s, but over time, more tragedies followed. Experienced cave divers entered the spring hoping to map deeper sections of the cave system. Some became trapped in narrow passages, others lost visibility and could not find their way back to the surface. In several cases, rescue teams faced enormous risks simply trying to recover bodies from the underwater tunnels. One of the most chilling aspects of Jacob's Well is how quickly conditions can change. From above, the water looks calm and inviting, but below the surface, divers face tight limestone corridors, sudden drops, strong currents, and psychologically intense isolation. Cave diving itself is already considered one of the most dangerous forms of diving in the world, and Jacob's Well became infamous within that community. Over the decades, stories about the spring spread across Texas. Locals began referring to it as both beautiful and cursed. Some believed the deep chambers below the spring held secrets still undiscovered. Others viewed the site with fear after hearing stories of divers who never resurfaced. One particular incident deeply affected public perception. In the 1980s, a diver became trapped deep within the cave system after stirring up sediment and losing visibility. Rescue attempts were extremely difficult because of the narrow tunnels and dangerous conditions. Events like this transformed Jacob's Well from a simple swimming destination into a place surrounded by mystery and caution. Scientists and geologists, however, became fascinated by the spring for another reason. Jacob's Well provides valuable insight into underground water systems and environmental changes in Texas. During drought periods, the spring's water flow can weaken dramatically, revealing how sensitive the aquifer system truly is. Researchers began studying the site not only for its geological importance, but also to understand how human activity affects underground freshwater sources. Today, Jacob's Well is both a protected natural area and a major tourist attraction. Visitors still come to swim in the clear blue water and admire its beauty. However, strict safety regulations now exist. Access to deeper cave sections is heavily controlled, and cave diving is limited to highly trained professionals. Even with these precautions, the spring still carries an unsettling reputation. Standing beside the opening, it is difficult not to feel a strange sense of curiosity. The water is so clear that sunlight seems to disappear directly into another world below. Looking down into the deep blue hole, many visitors describe the same feeling. It does not look like an ordinary spring. It looks endless. For audiences in the United States, Jacob's Well represents something uniquely compelling, a real location where natural beauty and hidden danger exist side by side. It is not a myth or fictional horror story. It is a place where nature created something breathtaking and unforgiving. The contrast is what makes it unforgettable. Above ground, children laugh and people swim beneath the Texas sun. Below ground, silence dominates a maze carved into the earth over thousands of years. And somewhere within those underwater passages remain stories that ended in darkness. Because sometimes the most dangerous places on earth are not the ones that appear frightening. Sometimes they are the ones that appear perfectly beautiful.